KBLA Talk 1580. So pleased to have with me in studio this morning and on YouTube, youtube.com, KBLA 1580, the Los Angeles Metropolitan Transportation Authority's CEO. She's a lifelong trailblazer, a champion of equity and inclusion, and she's the first African-American woman and also the first woman to lead the Metro in the agency's history. She is Stephanie Wiggins. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss CEO. It's great to have you in.
Grateful to be here.
So, man, so much to talk about. You're taking over. You've taken over this massive system. Maybe in a different city, being over the Metro would be a small assignment. But in LA, it's like being the president of a country almost.
It's an incredible opportunity. We are the second largest or second busiest transit agency in the country. We have 11,000 employees. The annual budget is a little over $8 billion, capital and operating budget. And last month, we moved a little over 22 million people.
Wow, that's amazing. And, I'm glad you said that because this is a little pet peeve of mine. People say people don't ride the Metro or they don't use public transportation in Los Angeles, and when I'm on it, I find that to be absolutely not true.
Well, thank you. Yes, people are riding. We want more to ride.
Yeah.
And my moonshot goal is for Metro to be the first choice people think about in transportation. Today, we're not. So we've got work to do there.
Yeah, well, we're a car culture,
Yes.
And that's hard to break.
Yes. However, I think for our health, climate, just access to opportunity, I feel privileged to be part of an organization that is working to provide a quality alternative to that car culture, right? So it's just, we want it to be a choice in your choice set so we can actually have a more livable community and livable future.
It's also, you save a lot of money.
Yes.
I mean, that's got to
Yes.
be a consideration right now with inflation the way it is and everything.
Absolutely. Save a lot of money.
So it's been just about a month since you launched the K line right around the corner.
Yes.
From KBLA. How's it going?
We're thrilled. We're thrilled about the opening of the K line. The first month we had over 90,000 rides on the line. It's been very exciting. That first weekend was amazing. Opening day was amazing. That first weekend we had about 12,000 riders that we saw. People coming from all over to test out the beautiful new system. And right now ridership is normalized to a little over 2,300 a day, which is really impressive because the whole line, Dominique, is not open yet. Right. We only partially opened the line. So we plan to open another connection to the Green Line next year. And then after that, the big connection, which is the Airport Metro Connector, connecting our K line directly to LAX through LAX's People Mover. That's going to be very exciting and game-changing.
And that opens next year?
That one will be 2024.
2020. Okay, 2024. Yeah, that's a huge project.
Yes.
See them building that People Mover right now.
Absolutely.
But phase 2 is next year, which takes us where?
Takes us to connecting to the Green Line, Aviation and Century. So right now, for the K line, you cannot connect or transfer to the Green Line, and we're getting that connection in place next year.
Wow. It seemed like it was moving slow for a while, and now all of a sudden it seems like it's moving fast. It's wild to drive down Crenshaw.
Yes.
And see, or walk down Crenshaw.
Yeah.
and see all these metro stations. It makes it feel more like a big city.
It's amazing. I some of the feedback we've gotten, and even as I take people out of town to the K line just to experience it, it's what it means to the community. We're hoping that we're providing more vibrancy for the community, and that's some of the informal feedback we've heard from some of the businesses along the line that now say they see more pedestrian traffic as a result of the station and the train opening. So we want to be a good neighbor in the community, and we're excited about the opportunity that the train service brings.
Yeah, I want to talk about that, where we are, what changes you want to make as CEO. I always say if you've got a massive problem, you know what to do. You're bringing a black woman. So what is on your agenda? What's on your portfolio? We'll discuss that when we come forward with Metro CEO Stephanie Wiggins on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where we turn red lights to green lights and keep it moving.
Congratulations to this week's KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week, LA County Department of Children and Family Services. LA County Department of Children and Family Services promotes child safety and well-being by partnering with communities to strengthen family. Congratulations, LA County DCFS.
Leaving things half done? Not a good option. Like a half-baked peach cobbler.
A gummy crust? I don't think so.
A half-done hairdo.
All done.
Shouldn't the curls be on both sides?
Or a half of a domino.
Bam! Big six!
But where's the other half?
Don't go halfway, especially with your immunity to COVID-19. Keep everyone safer this season by staying up to date with your vaccines and boosters. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find one near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
It's pro time because at Lowe's, it's Provember. Save big with inventory you can count on, like Flex products or DeWalt power tools starting at just $99. Plus, Lowe's MVPs members earn up to 3 times bonus points per dollar on select items. Save all Provember long. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. MVP's Pro Rewards Program. Terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/L/Pro Loyalty Terms. Subject to change. Prices valid from 10/17/22 to 2/3/23 or until supplies last.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Smooth skin begins with hydrating ingredients. Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion nourishes your skin with all-day hydration for deeply moisturized results that give you confidence like buttery soft shoulders like, and visibly smooth skin like. Quench your skin with nourishing moisture from Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion. Try Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash too, and get skin your face will envy.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And I'm honored to have with me in studio Stephanie Wiggins. I think Tav has called you Sister CEO. I'm not going to say that. She's the CEO of the Metro. It's a huge, huge portfolio, as you pointed out, $8 billion budget. Mm-hmm. And you just successfully launched the K-Line.
Yes.
Its first phase.
Yes.
It sounds like it's going to be rolled out in 3 phases.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not an easy job being CEO of a massive transit agency. You said the second busiest in the country. Mm-hmm. I always say when we've got problems, we bring in a black, usually a person, but oftentimes it's a woman. Just like we see now, with the mayor of our city, we got all these big problems. Get a black woman, she'll fix it. How do you, one of the, I guess, challenges that I've heard about in my circles is people being worried about being safe, feeling family friendly, feeling like you can send your kids on the Metro, because we do have this huge unhoused persons epidemic, and we have a public safety crisis that's nationwide.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one of my top priorities is to work on restoring confidence in our system, and that starts with safety and security. Fundamentally an issue. One of the things I know is that one indicator of us making progress in this area is the ridership, right? Because people have been apprehensive. We've seen our ridership grow over the last year, and one of the initiatives we have underway is what we're calling reimagining public safety, recognizing that public safety means different things to different people. Fundamentally, what I do know, though, is as we look at our new vision for public safety, taking into account feedback from our riders, our board even established a public safety advisory committee, as well as talking to our employees, because, Dominique, we have a number of frontline employees who are out on the system and are subject to, unfortunately, assaults, right? So taking into account all of that feedback, we've come up with a framework for reimagining public safety, which includes rolling out pilot ambassadors like we did for the first time with the K-Line, really providing a welcoming presence, providing information, assisting riders in whatever they need. That's proven to be very, very successful in its first 30 days or so along the K-Line, and we're spreading that program out to other lines. What we know is that when we look at our female ridership, I think that will be the bellwether to determine how well we are in addressing safety and security. My belief is that in order to restore this confidence, we're going to have to focus on issues of concern to women and families. That's how we're going to make a difference. We just released our gender action plan, where safety and security was the number one issue raised by women. In fact, Dominique, pre-pandemic ridership, the shift of women and men has dropped. We had more women pre-pandemic than we do now, and we think that's largely attributed to the safety issue. So whether it's pilot ambassadors, whether it's better lighting, being more thoughtful about parents who may be traveling with children and their needs, all of that is going to improve safety and security on the system.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the ambassadors. Those are folks I saw them on the K-Line. I've seen them actually since the opening. Mm-hmm. You see ambassador, they have vests on and they're around the metro stations. And what are they doing?
So essentially, they are providing support. They're a resource. First of all, as much as we try, sometimes approaching a bus stop, a bus station can be very intimidating, particularly when we have a new line in a new neighborhood. And so we wanted to make sure we had ambassadors deployed there so they could provide information, assist people with where they need to go, how to navigate the system, help them buy their tickets if they need to, their fares. They've been instrumental in helping to save lives. Right? People, they've come across people who are having a medical emergency and are able to call for assistance. They've been able to connect people who are lost on our system. And so they've just been a great resource and a sense of comfort for our riders. And they are a surprise and delight because it's unusual for you to be part of a government property and someone to proactively greet you in the morning. And so that's been a welcome.
I mean, and a lot of these are folks from the community too.
Yes, that was very important that we really focused on making sure that the ambassadors could be from the community, from the neighborhood, because we want the community to embrace the system as theirs.
And there's something to be said for somebody from the community coming to me if there's an issue, right? It's just a different approach that they probably would take. How does the ambassador interact with the metro law enforcement?
Sure. So in the K-Line's instance, the jurisdiction is all within the city of LA. So the ambassadors play a layered role with LAPD, who we contract with for local law enforcement, as well as our Metro Transit Security. And for the ambassadors are filling a void. They're mostly on the stations, at the stations, providing that presence. Law enforcement is actually more mobile and monitoring and being available to respond if they're called for an incident. And then transit security is on site, actually unarmed transit security is on site to do fare compliance.
Yeah, I think so. If I see an ambassador, I can just go up and ask them anything. And it seems like, I don't know, I'm just thinking if I go to a station or a stop and I see somebody there that's an ambassador, there's something that feels safer about that rather than me being by myself if it's early in the morning or late at night or something like that.
And that's the feedback we've received.
Yeah. When you look back at what you've accomplished so far, what's the yes checked off the to-do list and what's still on that to-do list for you? I know it has to be a lot because it's a massive agency.
Yes.
And you've been tasked with fixing some of the problems, which is some of it is our cultural resistance to being in public transportation. But tell me what you feel you've already, you're feeling good about on your to-do list.
Well, I think one of the things I would highlight is our pilot Go Pass program, which is free fare for K through 12 students and community college students. So that's a 2-year pilot that launched last fall in response to our board really wanting us to look at universal fairless. And while we're not at universal fairless now, what I did advise them is we could start a roadmap and start with K through 12 and community college students. And why I'm very proud of this program is, number one, Dominique, you know about the topics of learning loss as a result of, remote learning and what it's done to K through 12 education across the nation, and the importance to have students back in the classroom.
Yeah.
And the partnership with our local school districts, both public schools and charter schools that are available to enroll in this program, has been incredible. Secondly, community college students, it's 60% of community college students, at least in LA County, are women. 25% of community college students say they have food insecurity, housing insecurity, and transportation is demonstrated to be a big barrier for them, right? We know from previous programs that if people have access to discounted transportation or free transportation, they get better grades, they have higher matriculation rates. So I think it's incredible and transformational, the fact that our board, in partnership with these schools, is launched this program. I also am very excited about the program because I feel that the youth are the key to our sustainability and really getting Metro as people's first choice, to get students young to really get used to taking transit and understand the freedom that comes with transit. I think it's very exciting for our future.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I am the mom of a Gen Z, and they're much less excited about cars than we are.
Yeah.
At least that's my impression among my son's circle of friends. But, you talk about this idea of universal, free fare. That's what a lot of progressives, it's what a lot of activists are calling for, is make Metro free. I know from the standpoint of a CEO, you're probably saying, how is that sustainable? But this program that's in place now came through grants, right?
Yes, largely we are funding the program through the one-time COVID relief money we got from the federal government. That's helping us subsidize it. And then we're asking the schools to actually contribute $3 per student per year for K through 12. And actually, Dominique, for one of our Inglewood stations where Target is located across the street, they've come in as the private sector and they've subsidized the entire Inglewood Unified School District, 8,000 students for the year for the program.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could happen. It would just take some creative financing, and I think it makes sense that, you would start with students because of all the reasons that you have outlined. Mm-hmm. How does little Stephanie Wiggins, the first grader, the K through 12 student herself, say, when I grow up, I'm going to run transit agencies?
Ooh. Well, little Stephanie did not say that. Her dad called her Bossy Pants, so maybe that was my nickname. Maybe he saw something before I did. But transit was not in my realm of understanding or awareness. So essentially, I've been very fortunate. As I shared previously, I was born into the foster care system, and I was adopted by a military family, and I had a passport at the age of 2. So I was really fortunate to be able to travel and really live in different communities and cultures, and it served me well. I did not appreciate it, Dominique, growing up. I was like, why are we always having to move? But I did appreciate as I got older, not only in college, but also in the workforce, to understand that I was more comfortable working with diverse cultures. And it was just by accident. It was a temp assignment. I'm a first-generation college student. And after graduation, I had decided a couple years after graduation I wanted to get my master's in business. And I thought I would move back home with my mom and dad, who had then retired in Redlands, and just temp until I got into school. And my first temp assignment was with the transportation agency. And nobody in their business department, because my undergraduate degree was in business. So I worked in their finance department, rather, and I looked around and nobody looked like me. And I recognized that they were making decisions, policy decisions, hundreds of millions of dollars a year about where the bus would operate, where the train would operate, who got access to those services, what did it mean for elderly and disabled populations. And I thought, I think I'm going to stick around here for a little bit and put off grad school.
So your dad knew you were what we call a girl boss.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
He set you up.
That's right. That's right. I'm very fortunate.
I mean, and that's the short version, right? Of
Yes.
course, because nobody climbs to the ladder and to the top of the ladder, and most certainly not an African American woman without a lot of innovation, hustle, struggle, and what my grandma used to call elbow grease.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I've been very fortunate. Very fortunate.
So we talked about a couple of things on your to-do list that you feel good about. Anything else you want to highlight?
Well, obviously, there's nothing like opening a rail line. It's and it doesn't happen. I really don't do anything myself, but it's a privilege to be leading an organization where, the employees are such hardworking, dedicated folks, and they worked a long time on the Crenshaw line. So that is a personal privilege and a professional one to have one, because there's few of us across the country that have been able to oversee the opening of a rail line. I will say it's also been my honor to lead, about 6,000 of our employees, or 6,000 to 7,000 are frontline employees who came in pretty much every day during the height of the pandemic.
Wow.
And to be able to meet some of the employees who never missed a day of work, always felt it was important to get the service out on the street and take pride in the work they do. It's something that I am humbled by, and I take seriously as I bring recommendations before our board to consider, because we do want this to be a system that people can be proud of. We want it to be sustainable. And it's an amazing catalyst for economic development in the region as well. So the people part I'm very proud of, the Go Pass, and of course the opening of the K line. Ahead, in terms of, you asked what I still I'm concerned about and what I still need to accomplish. It really is breaking through and meeting that threshold that is personal for everyone, but that threshold of safety and security. Because as well as Go Pass is doing, we've doubled our numbers already, Dominique, in that program. We're seeing more students ride now than they did even before the pandemic. We still have a huge opportunity where I think, as you said earlier, parents may be concerned about having their students ride the system. We know women are concerned about safety, sexual harassment, etc. And so I'm laser focused on improving safety and security. We're beginning to see some of the crime stats go down, which is great. I mentioned the ambassadors. We have some preliminary information on that data, on how that is, where the ambassadors are deployed. We're having lower incidents reported. But between safety and security and, of course, delivering on these major projects, we have the most ambitious public works program in the country, Dominique. And, of course, we've got the Olympic and Paralympic Games in 2028 that we're all reaching towards. So a lot going on. Very excited. Lots of opportunities.
Yeah. And I want to talk about, after news and traffic, in sports, I want to talk about the Olympics and what that means for our city, especially when it comes to public transportation. You talk about sustainability. Yes. The K-Line, the stations are so beautiful. They're just lovely. I think it's wrong to say that you don't do anything. I appreciate your being humble, but certainly, even though it's been worked on for a long time, you could still fumble it at the goal line.
Yes.
We've seen that, and you haven't done that. But a big concern is always like cleanliness too.
Yes.
How do you keep the trains clean when you've got so many folks that are unhoused, that are doing whatever they're doing?
Mm-hmm. Well, part of that is, like we've done with the ambassador program, is start being intentional about making sure people from the community are deployed in those stations, right? Because then there's community pride there. They also report things more quickly, right? Instead of us relying on technology to report when there's an incident, now we have more eyes and ears on the system with the ambassadors so they can stay on top of any maintenance or cleanliness issues. We've also invested in our budget. Our board has been gracious enough to increase our cleaning budget almost $200 million this fiscal year alone in additional cleaning initiatives. And of course, one of my wishes is that we develop and adopt a station program for the community so they really embrace the station in their neighborhood and also help us keep it clean. So I'm very pleased that, yes, the K-Line is still as beautiful as it opened over 30 days ago.
Yeah, let's keep it going. We're talking with Stephanie Wiggins. She's the CEO of LA Metro. I want to talk about those Olympics and other changes ahead when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A banner seen over the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium has the attention of the city's mayor. A plane carrying the banner flew over TIAA Bank Field and parking lot before yesterday's game. The banner read, "Put monuments back," and it included a Confederate flag. A group called Save Southern Heritage paid for the banner. A spokesperson called it a Thanksgiving gift to those suffering under cancel culture. Mayor Lenny Curry tweeted there's no place for hate of any kind in the city. Well, the shopping continues today as many Thanksgiving travelers are still trying to make their way home from the holidays. Yes, it is Cyber Monday. Thousands of flight delays and cancellations prove to be a real headache for travelers Sunday on what the TSA notes is one of the busiest travel days of the year. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Motorcycle went down in Ontario on the 15 northbound past the 60. Right now they got the left lane blocked off. Fire crews taking care of some injuries there. The 15 northbound really a mess from Limonite Avenue. In Valley Village on the 170 southbound to the 101 and the 134. Got an accident blocking two middle lanes there. The 170 is stop and go starting at Magnolia Boulevard. And they're checking for a crash in Santa Fe Springs 605 southbound for Slauson Avenue. Looks like they already made it to the right hand shoulder, so no lanes are blocked, but it is stop and go starting at Whittier Boulevard.
Don't let a traffic accident ruin your day. Call 1-800-INFO-FIX to find the nearest Fix Auto location. Their highly trained and certified technicians will have you back on the road in no time. You have a choice on who fixes your vehicle. Tell your insurance agent you want to go to Fix Auto.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Chargers make a clutch two-point conversion with 15 seconds left to pull out a 25-24 win at Arizona. 5 straight losses for the Rams. They lose by 16 at Kansas City. USC has moved up to 4th in this week's AP College Football rankings. It's the highest ranking for the 11-1 Trojans since 2016. Undefeated Jackson State, ranked 5th in Division I AA, will play Southern for the SWAC Championship on Saturday, December 3rd. The Clippers get a career-high 31 points and 29 rebounds from Avika Zubac in a 14-point win over Indiana. Zubac's 29 rebounds is the most in an NBA game this season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you by MVP Accident Attorneys. When it comes to your settlement, we're slam dunk. Call 833-MVP-WINS or check their website at themvp.com for a free case review.
When you're the victim of a car accident, hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for your free consultation.
Call on me, your MVP.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here with a quick recap from my time at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. There were speakers Ian Dunlap, Damon John, Lynn Richardson, MC Light, Don Kennedy, to name a few. Take a listen to what Justin Grant, Community Development Lead at Chase's Advancing Black Pathway, let's see what he had to say.
So I'm Justin Grant. I lead community development and national partnerships for JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Pathway strategy. And so we're focused on strengthening the economic foundation of black communities, and And we're making targeted investments in programs like the Advancing Black Wealth Tour to help us get our tools and resources out to the community to drive sustained impact over time.
So when it comes to Black and brown people, it sounds like Chase is making it their personal responsibility not only to facilitate these events, but to educate and provide resources. So, Mr. Grant, I have to ask, what does wealth building look like for the individual?
It's home ownership. It's having that freedom to be able to start your own business and create jobs in your community. And it's having that long-term plan towards retirement, having that vision for what you want your life to be, and you have the resources to actually live it.
I'm Aisha Cairo. Thanks for sticking around. That was my recap from Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. First stop was here in LA, and they're taking it national.
Congratulations to this week's KBLA Talk 1580's Office of the Week, Community Legal Aid SoCal. Advocates for justice in Orange and Los Angeles counties. Congratulations, Community Legal Aid SoCal.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
And we are talking with the CEO of the LA Metro, Stephanie Wiggins. I'm chuckling because we were talking, off mic during the news and traffic about confusions about, how do you ride public transportation, which agency does what. Yeah. Some cities have their own, small cities within what we call LA, which is really a collection of cities.
Yes.
So what should we know? Like, what is Metro 101?
Wow, Metro 101. Well, Metro operates the buses and the light rail trains. If you see the double-decker trains, those are MetroLink. MetroLink travels to different counties in Southern California, where Metro only operates in LA County. You're right about there's a lot of different providers. In addition to Metro being the regional bus operator and rail operator, we operate over 2,000 buses every day in LA County. There are also about 23 smaller transit agencies in LA County alone that operate their own service, like Santa Monica, Big Blue Bus, Foothill Transit in the San Gabriel Valley, et cetera. And so what we try to do as a regional convener and operator is we are working on how do we make this more seamless and easier for our riders and visitors to understand. And that's why our tap card, about 7-8 years ago, we got all those transit agencies on the tap card. So at least you only have to use one card to access the system.
That makes it easier. And probably, I would imagine, the place to start is metro.net, right?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
But for folks that aren't good with, there's still a lot of folks that aren't good with internet. They can probably talk to, if they're on the K line, they can talk to an ambassador.
That's right.
But you can. Is there a number you can call? Is there?
Yes, we do have an 800 number. Go Metro.
1-800-GO-METRO.
I'm sure I'm missing a 3 in there. I'll get it for you, Dominique.
Okay,
but we do have a call center.
Look, it's not. That's not part of your job, right? Yeah. I think part of what we have to have is sort of some feeling of security. Like, I'm from the Bay Area.
Yes.
And I think I hope this doesn't perturb you, but I know that the ridership on BART is down. Like, a lot of my friends, the Bay Area Rapid Transit, they don't want to ride it because they say that it's not clean and stuff like that. And we've had some high-profile crimes. But I think the main things, I've been going there since I was a kid. I should know BART, but I go there and I forget.
Yes.
Or I don't feel like I know where I'm going. Then I think, oh, maybe I should just take an Uber.
Yes. I don't know why we do this in government, but sometimes we make things way more intimidating than they should be. And I get that with the ticket vending machine. I'm like, I can't even figure out. It's very intimidating. And so we've got to work on that because I think that's one of the great things that the Uber and Lyfts of the world has taught the transportation industry of look how you can make it intuitive and easy and seamless. And that's where we need to get to.
Okay, LA, that's customer service. 800-464-2111. That's what it says. I think that, or 323 Go Metro.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
323 Go Metro. Yeah, 323 Go Metro. That's probably good. So, I mean, I think it's familiarity is what I'm saying. Like, and so go on the website. Talk to an ambassador.
Yes.
Ride a train.
Absolutely. We have customer service centers at Union Station, Rosa Parks, Willowbrook, the Wilshire, Vermont area. So, and ask a friend. Ask a friend. That's the best way.
That's always a good way, right? So let's talk about the Olympics. Okay. We know that there's a lot of building, construction, and adjustments being made to our city, not just the metro, the airport, and I don't know what else. I'm sure it's a huge portfolio of things to get ready for the Olympics. What I feel like some of this will benefit regular Angelenos that are not just here for the Olympics if projects get done in a timely manner. But what kinds of changes are we looking at in preparation for the Olympics?
Well, the exciting thing is based upon the voters of LA County, we already had these projects in the pipeline, right? So it's not like we have to build for the Olympics. It's that we get to all benefit as a result of what we had in store. And so our expectation is, I would say like 99% of what we plan to build for the Olympics, all of Angelenos will be able to benefit from, not only during the Olympics, even after the Olympics, because really what we see, our investments are legacy investments. So whether it's, connecting the K line to the airport, we have the regional connector. I have to tick them off. There are a number of major projects that we have underway. Rail to Rail in South LA, which is a huge active transportation corridor, which means bicycle, pedestrian, walkability along that corridor. There are a number of subway projects. We are extending the subway. We call it the Purple Line extension from Wilshire all the way to the VA hospital. It will be completed before the Olympics. It was always planned to be completed before the Olympics, just before the Olympics. That's going to be transformational when you think about how many veterans we have in LA County and the importance of getting access to the VA hospital. It will also serve directly that other university, UCLA, which I'm a Trojan. So we're really excited about those investments. But more than that, our board sees this as an opportunity to see, and they just passed a motion to look at how we can connect arts and culture and transportation together during the games. So we activate our stations for community and cultural opportunities that can be we've funded open streets in the past, but this is like building upon open streets, an open streets concept. So what we like about the games is they bring this kind of, Dominique, magic fairy dust, I call it. And it really gets people excited about thinking differently and how do we cut through red tape and how do we dream big. And this is the opportunity to dream big. And whether it is being more seamless on how we get information out there to the public, whether it's joint ticketing, we're working on initiatives now with our cultural centers, our museums, our sporting stadiums to say, hey, when you purchase your ticket, why can't we also let the customer know that they can also purchase their metro ticket at the same time? We build this culture of expectation that when you're going to a major venue, whether cultural or sport or leisure, that you can know that there's a metro alternative to get you there. And so those are the exciting things that I think the games brings, as well as outreach to small businesses. How do we lift up small businesses more? How do we ensure that the games are inclusive for everyone to benefit from? It's a very exciting time.
I love it when there's a rail line into a nightmare traffic scenario. To me, Westwood is like one of the worst parts of the city.
Yes.
There's no freeways there. Once you get stuck on Wilshire, you're going to be there for a minute.
Absolutely.
And so that makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Same with, going to the crypto.com arena.
Staples.
Exactly.
Formerly Staples.
That place. Yes. I've taken Metro there, and it's like, oh, now I don't have to deal with these $5,000 parking lots. So I love it when I see, lines going in places where I would rather not be driving.
Yes.
I think that's a good way to change the culture too. We're talking with Metro CEO Stephanie Wiggins. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
NAACP calls on Twitter advertisers to take action after Trump's reinstatement. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News. Derek Johnson, president and CEO of the NAACP, calls on advertisers to take action after the social media platform's users voted for Trump's account to be reinstated in a poll posted by Twitter owner Elon Musk. 51.8% of its over 15 million votes cited for Trump's reinstatement on the platform, and so it was. So Mr. Johnson tweeted, quote, "Any advertiser still funding Twitter should immediately pause all advertising now," end quote. Johnson's call comes at a time when even CBS News, Balenciaga, and Playbill have reevaluated their usage of Twitter. Internally, Twitter has seen mass resignations along with abrupt firings in recent days. What are your thoughts on Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Twitter, and free speech? Let us know by chatting with us on Instagram or Facebook at KBLA 1580.
The Institute for Diversity Certification is all about the 3 Ds: dedication, determination, and discipline. Learn more about our globally recognized diversity certification program today by calling 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192, or visit diversitycertification.org. As the #1 organization for certified diversity professionals and also certified diversity executive credentials, diversitycertification.org will provide an opportunity for you to demonstrate dedication to the field, determination to make progress, and more discipline to your process. Go today and learn more about the diversity certification system. Call 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192. Or go to diversitycertification.org. That's diversitycertification.org. The standard of excellence, equity, diversity, and inclusion.
If you're a Los Angeles Department of Water and Power residential customer, listen to this. LADWP now offers convenient monthly billing through the new Level Pay program. Level Pay helps you budget for your utility bill with a predictable monthly amount that can also include past due balances. You'll know exactly how much you need to pay each month. Don't wait. Sign up today for Level Pay by calling 1-800-DIAL-DWP. That's 1-800-DIAL-DWP.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
We're talking with Stephanie Wiggins. She is the CEO of LA Metro. And we're going to get ourselves together here, CEO Wiggins. We're going to get ourselves very fluid and well-versed in all things Metro. If you're not great online, you can call 323-466-3876. That's 323-GO-METRO for those of us who don't push letters on our phone. Or you can go to lametro.net. Now, what are we doing right now? We see, the K line, it's a point of pride. It looks beautiful. I'm glad it's here. We fought for that Leimert Park stop. Mm-hmm. But yet there is concern about gentrification. And I know just from reading, because that's what I do, that, over a decade, the property values will increase 400% in the vicinity of a rail stop, whether that's That's based on D.C., but I believe it's true across the country.
You're correct.
So don't sell. But besides that, how do you, is this something you even think about in your planning, is gentrification?
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting listening to you, Dominique. I've been in this space for almost 30 years, and there was a time when the fact that the property values were forecast to increase substantially after the opening of a rail line, that is something as planners we touted, right? We touted that.
Right.
And really ignorant and not understanding what does it mean for the communities who were there before the line opened. And so this board has, over the last decade, really passed some really innovative policies to say, no, we need to be intentional about the planning of these lines and what it means for the communities, whether it's our joint development policy, where we're now really focused on making sure any available property we have is focused on affordable housing. And we recently approved a policy change that we would focus on income restricted housing developments. And what that really means is that instead of looking at the affordable housing household income level at the average for the county, we're looking now at the average for the neighborhood, right? To try to ensure that people can stay. So we've partnered in affordable housing projects along the K line, whether it's Fairview Heights apartments, there are 100 income restricted apartments there, or the Expo Crenshaw Joint Development Project, where there will be 400 income restricted apartments there. We're going to hopefully have a groundbreaking for that development next year. It's really important. We also have been focusing on commercial gentrification and commercial displacement. We had a first of its kind business interruption fund to really help ensure that businesses, small businesses in particular, small mom and pop businesses that had 25 or less employees, were able to stay in business, surviving that 8-year-long construction duration. So during our program, we gave around $20 million to those businesses, 235 of those businesses in total along the K line, and 194 were open by the time we opened the K line, which is amazing.
That is amazing.
When you think about, they had to live through a pandemic. It's amazing. But we want to do more than that. As you said, when we opened, there was also anxiety expressed about what's going to happen. And so before our board this week is a recommendation to establish an economic development fund for transit-oriented communities. And it's focused on small businesses, providing economic assistance, partnering with a state or federal small business agency to either acquire property, help the small business and investment, because we want the small businesses who are from the community to remain in the community if it's their choice, right? We don't want the development of the K line to be something that pushes these commercial businesses out. So this is new, this is unique. It's really not been done before, but it's, I think, indicative of our commitment to the communities in which we operate. We want to be intentional and no longer have our heads in the sand about what our infrastructure can mean for communities.
When we come forward, we'll have just a few minutes before we pass the mic to Tavis Smiley. And we're talking with the Metro CEO, Stephanie Wiggins. I want to know what you want to make sure is on our transportation radar before you leave the building today. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
Courage is contagious. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours, now through December 20th. All of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net. And together, we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Drop it! When you tune in to KBLA Talk 1580, we want you to know what you're downloading.
Now you listen to me, and you listen to me closely.
In a recent African-American media issue survey conducted by the public opinion research and public policy consulting firm Eviteris, KBLA Talk 1580 was found to be the most trusted, credible, and reliable source on the airways for Black Los Angeles and beyond.
Check it out.
We take our role seriously as your trusted messenger. At KBLA Talk 1580, it's about truth, not ratings. And when you hear us say, when we come forward, we mean it. We mean it.
That's the bottom line.
We're not going back. Not to the back of the bus, not to back alleys, not back in the closet, and definitely not back to the good old days.
Might as well forget it. No way.
We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
And we're talking with LA Metro CEO Stephanie Wiggins. I always end the show with a quote, or not always, most times. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, Rosa Parks would be good because we think about her on the bus. But you're not just not on the back of the bus, you're over all the buses. And so she must be very, very proud of you wherever she is. What would you like to leave us with this morning, Stephanie Wiggins?
Thank you, Dominique. Thank you for this opportunity. I would say in the spirit of Rosa Parks, I would say our holiday treat is that we are restoring all the service we cut back during the pandemic on December 11th. And that's huge. We've been challenged with a bus operator shortage across the nation. All transit agencies have. And we had to cut our service last year. And I'm proud to say that over time, we've been incrementally building it back so it's reliable. Reliability means fewer cancellations. And we know that's important because so many essential riders use our system, so it needs to be reliable. It needs to be there when they need it. And so December 11th, we'll be restoring all that service back. It'll be 7 million annualized hours.
Wow.
And that's key. We've seen the highest ridership when we've been at full service levels. It also is a thank you and a gratitude in the season of gratitude to our riders for putting up with, the instability, but know that we're bringing it back now because we know that it can be held, we know it can be retained, and that's key to providing a sustainable service that everyone wants to ride because 70% of our ridership today takes the bus. So very proud that we'll be bringing that back December 11th.
Oh, that's great news. Well, you were very succinct, so maybe you have time to explain fare capping?
Fare capping.
Is that too hard to explain at the last minute?
No, I think fare capping is a concept where no one should overpay, right? Mm-hmm. So, when we have monthly passes, if it's a monthly pass, you pay up front for the amount of rides. Well, inevitably, if you don't have the means or, you don't have the ability to pay the entire monthly pass up front, you pay as you go, and you end up actually, by the time the month is over, paying more than the amount of that original monthly pass, right? So fare capping is, all right, whenever you hit that monthly amount, you're capped out. You will never overpay. So we are putting forward a proposal to implement that program where actually you will no longer need a monthly pass, right?
To get that same rate.
Exactly.
Wow,
the minute
cool.
you hit it using our tap card, then you're capped and you get the full benefit of that monthly pass, or in this case, a weekly pass or day pass. And so we think it addresses inequities, it's fair, but we want to get to a point where no one has to overpay.
See, these are all the things that CEO Wiggins has up her sleeve that we'll be finding out about in the months ahead. I really, really appreciate you coming in, and I know that you're working harder than we see and making it look easy. So thank you for getting the job done on behalf of the people of Los Angeles.
Thank you so much, Dominique, for this time.
And I just want to remind you, if you're like me and you're still becoming fluent, go to metro.net or call 323-GO-METRO, 323-466-3876. I do like to end with a quote, and today I'm going to go to Rosa Parks. Since we're talking metro and transportation, she says, "I would like to be remembered as a person who wanted to be free so other people would also be free." Tavis Smiley is up next. He's got a full lineup of conversations for you as always. Don't forget to check in with us on social media. Right now we're broadcasting on YouTube. Please follow, like, and subscribe while you are there. It's KBLA 1580. You can find me on DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio. And we should probably follow LA Metro too, huh?
Thank you. Yes, please.
I know I follow LA Metro, but follow LA Metro while you're there. History is now, and we're making it together. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network, a banner seen over the